Want to welcome all of our 4-H members and hopefully some parents as well. This is a meeting that we're going to hold on our garden show this year. And Rachel and I have got together and tried to figure out a way to get some information out, because obviously we're having to do things a little different because of the COVID-19. We're doing some very few face-to-face meetings at all, no group meetings at all. So this is going to be the way we're going to have to do business, at least for a little while. So super excited that you guys were able to get signed up for our garden show. If you're watching this and you're like, oh, I forgot to sign up, we're going to take that deadline back a little bit. So if you didn't sign up for the garden show and you want to be a part of it, Monday, which is the 30th of March, if you can let me know by March the 30th, we'll go ahead and get you signed up for that. And here at the end of this, we're going to talk just a little bit about just how we're going to disseminate the plants and do some other things logistically so that we keep everybody safe. So, but right now I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we'll get started into the information that you're going to need to be successful at our garden show this year. So, all right, Rachel, share screen right there. I think I've got it. So. Okay, are we there, Rachel?
We're good.
Okay, guys and girls, we'll go ahead and start through this little PowerPoint I put together. But basically, this is just the basic information that you're going to need like I said, to get started on this. A lot of you were probably a part of this last year. I'm sure some of you may be doing this for the first time, but it's a great project. Gardening, if it's just a good way to get out and kind of connect back with nature. And I think it's something that's everybody can benefit from it. And parents, we want you to be very much a part of your kids' project as well. And sometimes that means getting them out of bed and making them go do something in the garden that they didn't really want to do. But it's a good family project, not just for the kids. So we have 3 types of gardens. And the first 2 are really close. The regular garden and the raised bed garden are what I would call a traditional garden, obviously with the raised bed being the only difference it is in a raised bed. So, but other than that, the regular and the raised bed are the same. The container garden, obviously a little bit different. This is just going to be flowers, where the other 2 are going to be vegetables. The container garden, what you will need to do on that is be creative. We have all different types of containers that have been brought in for our garden show at the end of this. Like I said, some of them, I can just remember some of them was, one of them was a wheelbarrow. Some of them is like maybe an old tub or something like that you can find. I think we even had one brought in here in a commode one time, which it was actually kind of neat. So you can just be as creative as you want to on that container garden. But those are the 3 types. When you sign up, you'll have to choose which one of those types that you want your garden to be. So a little overview on the raised bed and the regular garden. Okay. So this is a competitive event as well. Now, we don't want to get too caught up into the competitiveness. That's not the main reason we do this. Obviously, you're going to get some great experiences out of the gardening part of it. But we do make it a competitive event. And at the end, we're going to add up points. And here's how you will get your points. For the regular and the raised bed, the total is 100. So by attending this workshop right here, and I think Rachel's going to give you the way that we'll actually know that you watched this at the end, but by watching this, you're going to automatically get 10 points. Rachel is going to talk a little bit here in a minute about a food preservation workshop that she puts on during the summer. And that's assuming that we'll be able to get together this summer and do that, but that's going to be worth 5 points. We want you to turn in a soil sample. Now, remember, this is just for the regular and the raised bed. If you're doing a container garden, you turn one in if you want, but we don't need a soil sample for the container. But if you're in a regular and raised bed, we'll need a soil sample. Here again, talk about that here in just a little bit in the slideshow. I'm going to actually be coming out after you get your gardens planted. We call it a mid-season garden visit, and that's worth 40 points. And I'll be looking for things there as far as, just have you kept your garden weeded? What's your garden overall? What does it look like? Are your plants healthy? Do they have disease? Do they have insects? And along with scoring that, I can also give you some pointers. If you are having some problems, hopefully we can talk about some of those at that time and figure out some ways to fix them. And then the last 40 points will be the garden show. And we'll discuss that a little bit here in a minute as well. So like I said, all that together is going to be a total of 100 points. We are adding a bonus this year, and Rachel's going to talk about that here in a minute as well. So the overview on the raised bed, like I said, that shouldn't be the raised bed. That should be the container garden. I'm sorry. So the container garden is simply going to be attending this. You get 10 points, and then you come to the garden show, and that's worth 40 points. So the total for the container bed is going to be 50 points. I won't be making a mid-season check. We don't need a soil sample or anything on that. And there won't be an option for the bonus points on that because I never eat flowers, Rachel, but I don't know. They might taste good. I don't know. But no, that's so if you're doing the container, you'll get 2 6-packs of flowers. You get your own container, your own soil, and you can add plants to that container as you wish. You don't have to just use the plants that we give you. As a matter of fact, if you probably only use the plants that we give you, your container probably wouldn't be, you need to add some plants to it. I'll just say that because I've seen the ones that people bring to the garden show, and most of those have added some plants to those. So that is your option on that if you want to or not, but I would advise you to probably add a few plants to that one. So like I said, the total on that one will be 50. The regular and the raised beds, okay, this is what they will receive. And I haven't mentioned this yet, but it is $5 to be a part of this. But for right now, we're just, we're going to wait on receiving the money. Okay, so just so you know, $5, this is what you'll get for your $5. You will get all of these varieties of seeds. You'll get the peas, the bush beans, the okra. You get the G90 corn. That's an awesome corn. I don't know if you've ever had the G90 corn, but it's really, really sweet. You'll get some straight A cucumbers, the straight neck squash. You'll get the super fantastic tomatoes, providing that they still have those. So I get my tomato plants over at Centerville, and sometimes those are really a popular variety over there. So I don't know, I hadn't even called them to see how many they have, if they still got them. I'm going to try to pick these up next week. So if they don't have the super fantastic, obviously I'll get another variety. But you're going to get radishes, zucchini. We've never done carrots in this before, so I'm kind of interested in seeing how the carrots turn out. A packet of chili peppers and banana peppers. So that's a lot of stuff you're going to get for $5. You're getting your money's worth there. But the tomato plants alone will cost me $5. So that's for the regular and the raised bed. The container garden's going to receive 2 6-packs of flowers, and we'll just have to wait and see what they've got, what I think really looks good. So I didn't necessarily mention the variety on those, but that's what you'll get if you got the containers. So let's talk about soil sampling. This is for the raised and regular beds. Soil samples will need to be turned in. I don't know Oh, Rachel, what I even had the date down on that now. I should have had that on there. But, obviously just try to get those soil samples in as soon as you can. Uh, if you've never taken a soil sample before, you can use this little old, just a spade. The thing about, don't go out there and dig a big hole somewhere. We don't want the soil down any deeper than 6 inches in your garden. That's about where the rooting depth is for most plants. And don't just get one spot. So what we like you to do is just get a small amount of soil from about 8 or 10 different locations in your garden. Mix that soil together in a bucket, and then take one sample out of that bucket. And that sample that you turn in, it needs to be in a plastic Ziploc bag. It needs to be at least a pint of soil. So, if you got a gallon Ziploc bag, somewhere about a fourth to maybe a third of the way full of soil. Like I said, make sure you get a good mixture of areas in your garden. Don't just get one location. If the soil is really wet when you get the sample, leave the bag open, let it sit in there on your counter in a windowsill somewhere for maybe even 2 or 3 days. Let it dry out a little bit before you bring it to us. Right now, our doors are shut. We're open for business, but you can't come into our office. But we have a drop box both at Danville and at Dardanelle that you can drop those soil samples off. Now, there's a little form there that you'll need to fill out as well, and you can either attach it to your bag, you can put it inside your bag if you want, but you can still drop those soil samples off even though our doors are not open to the public right
now. Hey Bob, it's April 28th, the deadline to
Thank you, Rachel. Okay, so April 28th is our deadline for those soil samples. And yeah, try to get that in, because I've had people that if they'd have turned their soil sample in, they'd have won, because those points sometimes get really close at the end of this. So everybody, that's it's free, doesn't cost you anything, and you'll get some good information back as far as what type of soil you have. So really encourage you to get those soil samples in and try to get them in on time. Like I said, if you got questions on those, you can certainly give me a call here at the office, and we can discuss that further. Everything I just went over, I think, is right here. Other than that date, we backed that up, right, Rachel? So
yes, because of the coronavirus
so
and all the changes.
I had the original date set for the 20th, and it's you said 28th now.
Yeah, that's what I have on the newsletter that they should have gotten in the email.
So that is definitely what we'll go with. And like I said, all that information I just talked about is on this slide right here, so I'm not going to waste my time and yours to going over that again. But if you got questions on that soil sample, just give me a call. So, Rachel?
All right.
Talk about the canning workshop for just a minute.
Okay. So the canning workshop, we offer, as you know, different workshops during the summer. And one of those is a canning or food preservation workshop. It's going to be during the day. So we normally do this from about 9 and then till we finish. And I do encourage you to bring your lunch in case we go over on time. But our goal is to try to be done around 12 to 1 o'clock. And we would do more canning if for some reason, let's say, pickling and jelly making is what we're going to do in the canning workshop. But if you wanted more information about pressure canning or dehydrating or something like that, let me know. That's something we could do at a later date. But pressure canning does take a full day of a workshop. And so I tried to pick 2 things that we can definitely do in the time limit. And so we'll pickle something. So I'll look at what Bob is giving you and try to pick what I can find in the store or get donated for the pickling. And then for the jelly making, we're actually going to be making grape juice jelly. And with that, we actually just use grape juice from the store. So I figured that'd be a great one for you to learn how to make, and something you can make at home. So, and it's probably one of my favorites as well. So that'll be the information about the canning workshop will be provided in the May newsletter. We'll try to get some information out, and hopefully we'll know more by May with the coronavirus and our protocols, and then we'll tell you when that workshop will be.
Okay, so our garden visit. This is one stop that I made last year, and this was a raised bed, obviously, but when we'll schedule those ahead of time. It's not like I'm just going to pop in on you out there one day, but we'll schedule those ahead of time. Try to have your garden in as good a shape as you can at that time, because like I said, not only am I going to be coming out to give you pointers and talk about maybe problems that you're having, but you're also going to get a score up to 40 points on that day. So, you know, if you can have all your weeds out, and try to have your garden looking as good as you can on that garden visit. So the garden show, that's kind of the grand finale of this project. And I am just blown away every year by all the awesome displays that we have. They get really creative on these displays. They'll decorate their table, and, you know, we'll give you information on what you're supposed to bring as far as so many of each of the vegetables, and, you know, your display, those pretty much up to you. So be creative on that, on the garden show. Here's, I don't know how this is one of the containers that one of the garden show participants brought one year. So yeah, it's a fun day. It's a fun day. Everybody, you know, the work is done at that point, and you get to come in and show off your bountiful harvest. So that's the garden show itself. And then Rachel, I think you're going to talk just a little bit about this garden to table.
So we decided to offer a bonus point opportunity for you guys, and I think me and Bob talked about it. It's important for not only for you to know how to grow things in the garden, but also how to prepare them so that you can eat them. So we're going to ask that you create a dish using produce from the garden. Must include at least one item. You can include more. So let's say, for instance, you decided to do squash as your main item. A lot of times you see zucchini and different things with that as well. So you can put multiple together, but what I want to see is that, let's say the squash, it needs to be the highlight of the dish. So whenever they're judging, they need to know that they can taste that squash and can tell that that's the main focal point. You will need to bring the completed dish to the garden show. And then this summer, we will offer a cooking class with a focus on using the food from the garden, so we can maybe give you some recipes and ideas that you can use to get your recipe that you want. And you can look online and find recipes. If you want, you can go to the Extension website, and that has information with different recipes and stuff. I have recipes in my office that I can give you. So just come by if you're needing some ideas. And I'll also be providing that at the cooking class. But I also want to see some creativity. So let's say you find, and I'm picking on squash since that's the picture, but let's say you find a squash recipe and it has a cheese in there, and you decide, well, I want to use a different type of cheese because I don't like Swiss cheese. I like cheddar, or for whatever reason. But I would like to see some creativity with that. So take that recipe that you find and make it your own. The best dish will be awarded the bonus points. So the judges will be given a separate judging sheet for judging the dish, and they'll use that to decide who is the winner of the bonus points. So I hope you all will participate in this, and hopefully maybe this is something we can keep for future garden projects.
Awesome. All right. I'm looking forward to that as well. Okay, so let me go back to speaker view. Let's see if I can figure out. Yeah.
Just at the top, you should just have to end share.
Okay. So logistics on trying to get the seeds and the plants out. I'm going to do my best to have everything ready by next Thursday, which will be April the 2nd. I'm going to have all the plants and the seeds here at the extension office in Danville from 1 o'clock to 4:30. If you could come by the office, and I should have had my cell number, I guess, Rachel, so
I
they
can
could.
I can put it up during editing. So
Okay, so I'll have my cell number there for you. What I would like for you to do is just pull up in the parking lot over here at the Danville Extension Office, April the 2nd, between 1 and 4:30. Give me a call, and I will bring your plants and stuff out to you. They want us to keep a 6-foot distance, social distancing, 6-foot distance between us and any of our clientele. So, you know, I like you, but I'm not going to shake your hand that day. I will, if you'll have your trunk open or wherever you want these plants, I will carry them out there and put them in there. Don't come grab them out of my hand or anything, because like I said, they are really strict on us. They want us to keep that 6-foot distance. So if you'll just have the area that you want me to place the plants in, I will carry them out there and put them in your vehicle. So hope that works. If you can't for some reason make it that day, obviously give me a call. We'll work out something. I mean, if you're busy that afternoon, we can get together another time. But that's, hopefully I can get most of them out on that afternoon. Okay. Rachel, anything else?
Mainly, we did send out an email. I think it was last week or early this week with the newsletter, and that's for just information. We've had a lot of deadlines being pushed and changes being made to how we normally do things, and so that newsletter has some information. If you did not receive it in an email, that means you probably are not in the 4-H system that we have. So try to get with me. You can email me, and I'll have my email on this video, or you can call the extension office, and they'll get you in touch with me, and we'll get you enrolled. Or maybe it was something wrong with your email. With my side, I may put your email in wrong. So we'll figure out why you didn't get that newsletter, because we definitely right now we're not going to be sending out any paper copies of things. It's mostly going to be electronic until we're back in the office regularly. So it's definitely important that we have the correct contact information for you. And we'll be posting other workshops and things, so be on the lookout for that as well. And hopefully we'll know more. I mean, every day the coronavirus is changing, so hopefully we'll have some new if we have any new guidelines, we'll let you know. So,
all right. Stay safe.
yes.
Try to keep your social distancing up for at least a good while right now. I don't know when it's going to get better. I'm ready for it too now, but we're just going to have to play along with the guidelines.
Yes, and be sure to wash your hands. That's important.
Yes.
So after you get your seeds from Bob, even though I know Bob's healthy and everything, but it's good to, when you get home, and wash your hands and everything. So
okay, I think we're going to wrap this up, and you guys, like I said, Rachel's going to have my number on there. Just give me a call if you got any questions.
we'll have it after this video is done. I'll have you should see a screen pop up that says contact information on there. So
Awesome.
all right, thank you.